And good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. No, we could be in Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
The poor guys are, I mean, they're getting hit pretty bad.
Yeah.
So better them than us, I guess.
Well, I don't know if I would put it that way. I mean,
Well,
it's,
it's been 150 years since that area of Florida got nailed.
so it's about time.
About time. Well, don't put it that way. Looks like the sheep are calling again.
Oh, no. It's amazing. As soon as I go on the air, or that's when my daughter needs my 100%, my youngest. That's when all of a sudden she needs my,
Oh.
yeah, all of a sudden.
Oh, well, that's the way it goes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Dad, get off the air. I need you now.
Oh, well. No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Florida's getting shellacked.
Yes, they are.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
Even though Paul says, well, it's about time.
I'd say about time. I just said it's a long time since they.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul.
I know.
Is it? It's supposed to circle around, right?
It's going up through Georgia and South and North Carolina, and then going back out to sea. So make a loop.
So we may get some.
I don't know. I don't think we're getting anything.
Really?
Yeah, maybe some surf off the coast, maybe, but I don't think it's coming this way at all.
Nope. Because surfing is big in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome. So you were not here last night.
No, I was not.
I was.
Yeah.
Off camera.
Yep.
The two candidates were here.
Yeah.
Megan was here doing time, who did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
As timekeeper. And Janice Steinhagen, who did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, she does a good job with that. Yeah.
As a moderator.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if anybody watched it and if there are any thoughts on last night.
Yeah. I'm hoping that a lot of people did watch it.
Huh?
So I hope a lot of people did watch it so that they could.
Oh, there were a lot of people watching. I could see the numbers. But
you could? Yeah. Well, very, very interesting to see the responses, and the questions were good, I thought. Were very good.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I know one of the candidates I'm sure he felt a little uncomfortable because it's not, it's not in his list of things that he does on a daily basis.
So why did you say that? Why did you say one of the candidates and then this is not in his wheelhouse?
Oh, I know.
So, it's like, okay, let's just put it out there.
I thought Wayne was probably a little out of his comfort zone because let's face it, he doesn't probably do that kind of stuff on a daily basis. Where
I thought he did just fine though.
Yeah,
I really did.
Yeah, and to his credit, I mean, he really didn't have any information to really what's going on in the town hall because he doesn't work at the town hall. He relied on what the residents were asking him as he went around to visit them
right
during his discussions with them. So he pretty much relied on that, where Dana had all of the background of what was happening in the town hall.
So Jennifer says one spoke from the heart, one spoke from a prepared statement like a politician.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could tell one is a politician, that's for sure. That definitely came through. I mean, there's no doubt about that answer.
I'm having a snack.
I guess you are having a snack.
Whatever.
That's the way it goes. So, it was.
I've been working a lot of hours.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the group.
Scott says we did an outstanding job. Well, thank you, Scott.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did the best with the information that he had. That's for sure. A lot of the information that was in the prepared statement was from the previous administration. I mean, I heard things like hotel. I heard things like
hotel, chill.
Yeah, I
Holiday
heard things like
Inn.
that. I heard things like supermarket, all those things. Those are all from the previous administration. You know, there was nothing that came through that happened recently. Those were all a couple of years ago that people were looking for things to do. And then the other thing I heard was, and just to bring people up to snuff, the property next to Walgreens, I believe that's. I remember a few years ago they tried to contact the people who own that building, and I believe that own that building is a business that is out in the Netherlands. I mean, they're part of Sweden or one of those countries out there, and I think they had a hard time getting a hold of them to see if they could use that building for something. So the people that own it not really interested in doing anything with it. They just assume let it sit there, you know. So but that's quite a few years ago. From my own perspective, I thought, you know, in the state and federal elections, it sounds like abortion is the big thing, but here in our local elections, it sounds like uh, economic development seems to be the top subject for everybody that's seems to be running on a platform. You know, it's economic this, economic that.
Right.
I heard a lot of words. We want to do this. We want to do that. But if the landowners don't want to sell their property, where are you going to put this? Where are you going to have a business come in? You know, I think a lot of the landowners right now, especially on 164, are
Mhm.
probably holding off. I mean, wouldn't your property be worth more if you had a sewer and water line running by the front of it? So what would you do? You can't blame the property
Sure.
owners. You can't blame them.
Yeah.
They want to get the most for their buck. And so I think that's an issue, that the reason why we don't have anything really going on 164 right now. But I think as the sewer line gets in finally, which just sounds like it's coming up, things will perhaps happen. So, I mean, I was part of that group that pushed that whole infrastructure thing, you know?
So one of the things, and I'm only bringing this up because you're here.
Yeah.
Is the first selectman mentioned something about the economic development committee.
Yeah.
And said something about that. There's a new guy.
Yeah.
And I want to get your take on that.
I
since you're on that
kind
committee.
of think that she kind of stuck it to the Economic Development Commission. You know, I don't think what people realize what the Economic Commission has done over the years. A lot of the planning and zoning changes that have occurred came out of the Economic Development Group, so that, you know, you could change the zoning regulations so that you could bring more commercial property into areas. So, and different types of businesses could come in as a result of what economic development did and working with planning and zoning.
Right.
They also put in a tax abatement plan, which I don't think it really has been used lately, but it was for, you know, to allow businesses to get a little bit of tax relief if they came in and spent a certain amount of money. That all was done by the economic development team. You know, it wasn't done by anybody else. And you know, and she kind of says, the new guy, he's going to bring all these new ideas. Well, what the new guy brought,
Who is the new guy?
all I know is his first name is Matt. I don't know him personally. He's a younger guy, and he met with her. And one of the things that they're talking about is they want to, you know, they want to spend money to make money and advertise economic development from the town.
Okay.
Well, there's been money put in the budget to do that under the selectmen's, the town budget. And guess what happens to that money? It gets bumped out because they want to use the money for something else. So they kick the money out. So you don't have any money to go out and make a video or do all this stuff, because guess what happened? They throw it out. So what do?
You almost dropped an F-bomb there.
Yeah, I didn't know I wouldn't. So, I was very aggravated because when I heard that, because I spent a lot of time on that, and I take that whole thing to heart when I start hearing things like that. And I was a little upset over it, because the new kid, he's basically saying things that we said to try to do years ago, and we weren't able to do it. The only thing that now he's working on, which we talked about before, is this dispensary thing, you know, And even the other day, you heard Plainfield talk about a dispensary, which I didn't want to mention. But yeah, so we're trying to get that on a referendum. So it's probably going to be during the next budget referendum where the town can get like 3 or 4% of the tax base. That's on the products that are sold. So he kind of knew that because he apparently he knew this because of stuff in knowledge. All right, that's the only thing that with this new guy he's not going to come in and take over the world and Grizzly's going to become the most economic development thing in the world. That ain't going to happen. I mean, the one thing that I think that we don't do as a team is a lot of the stuff that's done behind the scenes never gets told to the public. I think the public thinks that they go in there and just sit, you do nothing. But there is a lot of things that it goes on. Tom, I mean, I know we don't, Tom, sometimes he can, but he does spend a lot of time with Heritage Village. He works with them very, very closely. So now there used to be, she talked about a round table, if you remember. She mentioned something about a round table.
Yes, she did.
There used to be a round table in place.
Yes. And that was actually Kevin Skolchek that started it.
Right. And it continued on after Kevin.
With Todd Babbitt.
Right. And the banks would come in, local businesses would come in, and it was usually held either before the normal meeting. And it was going well for a while, but then people started to drop off.
It stopped
Because people weren't interested in doing it anymore. So what do? You can't force people to come to a meeting if they're not interested. So the whole roundtable stuff. But she mentioned the roundtable, and I'm kind of wondering who the hell from economic development is on this roundtable. It never came up at one of our meetings to suggest that a person be on that team.
But it was never said what kind of roundtable that she established.
I don't know.
So because I don't know. I do know is that Kevin Skolchek started the economic roundtable.
Yes, he did.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Yeah, when he first came in. That is true. It went on after.
And it did. But I don't know of it going on now.
No. Until she mentioned it. It was the first time I heard it. And I thought she said it was made up of a bunch of people, including somebody from EDC, but I don't know who the hell's on it from EDC because the fact that if you're going to have a committee, you usually nominate somebody to go on a board, right? The committee tells the person to go. That person just doesn't go and volunteer.
Right.
I mean, so
I just want to address a comment.
Go
Rachel
ahead.
says there was a debate last night. I don't know. Check Griswold now. I'm tired of people. What happened last night? I'll tell you what. Pay attention to the places that actually talk about this stuff, and then you'll know.
Yeah,
because I'm done hearing. There was a vote last night. There was this last night. There was this. There was that. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry. No, I'm serious. I'm sick and tired. And then they come off like the biggest victims. Like I didn't do it. I didn't do. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Well, that's the problem, But I think a lot of the questions were really good. I didn't see anything.
Well, let's not give your. Let's move on to something else. Paul,
okay, go ahead.
You're gonna keep on talking about like the debate and what you thought. No, I know I want to talk about it, but I want to hear other people as well.
Okay.
Christina says you can tell Wayne speaks with honesty and integrity. He doesn't showboat or sugarcoat. Very refreshing. Sarah says, simply just confirmed my voting decision. Donna, good morning, Donna, said the questions were spot on last night.
They were good questions.
Yeah, I thought Janice did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Cortland says, Tom is on it.
What do you say?
Tom is on it.
Oh, the round table?
I guess. I don't know.
Cortland,
can you elaborate there? Because sometimes when the comments come in after we've moved on to something else, then of course, I have absolutely no memory of the last 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So, and Scott says Bill Belichick is more transparent than our town hall is. Oh my goodness. So maybe Bill Belichick should run for first selectman. You think he'd win?
Yeah. His running mate will be, you know who, Brady.
So, just to kind of taking a break off from the debate for a second. One of the things that we'd like to mention is you take a look at on the screen as well. You see that cool little tumbler right there, the Griswold tumbler. That right there, if you scan that barcode or the QR code, it'll take you right to the website. Or you can just go to snsnonline.com/shop, and it has all the official fonts and pictures, and also has the official Griswold High School logos, as well as the schedule. Now, the cool thing about this is that when you buy this and you go to any Griswold sporting event that the Booster Club is running the snack bar, which is just about all of them, then you will always get $1 hot cocoa refills or coffee refills for $1. That's it, for $1. So, and it's a 20-ounce tumbler, so it's a good amount. It's definitely a good amount. So, go ahead and grab one of those. We sold a few so far. Not in the arena that Paul said. So, but I think I'll show it. Let's see. Hold on. So for those of you who haven't seen it, and actually just have seen a picture of it. Oops, I'm gonna fall. This is it right here. This is it. And it holds real liquid. It honestly does. And Paul, you can hear the ocean.
There you go.
It's amazing. Only in the Griswold Wolverine tumbler. Now, if you're saying, well, that's just football. Everybody just caters to football. Well, that might be true. But we also have a soccer tumbler for boys and girls with their schedule on it, and girls volleyball. So how do you like that? So we have all of that stuff. And I just spilled water everywhere, and I didn't even miss a beat, did I, Paul?
I can see that.
No. I'm still talking, and I'm cleaning up water at the same time.
Oh.
So Kathy says, I'm drinking coffee from it right now.
Wow.
Daryl says, you can hear the waterfall by the youth center in them. Well, I think Daryl from the Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City, next to the...
Oh, dog groomer.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. That's right. Next to Hair of the Dog.
Yeah.
Dog groomer. The lady's very nice. I've been in there and had a chance to talk to her.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Nice people. Nice local people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Daryl, you'd have to actually buy one to actually know this. Just threw Daryl under the
You
bus.
can get one with a Windows computer on it.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could, yeah. All right, let's get back into stuff. Scott says, I heard a lot of I did from one and a lot of we will from the other candidate. I know which one I prefer. Daryl says he can't use it because it doesn't have a screw top. Well, don't put it by the computer, silly. Jesus.
Yeah.
No, you're trying to take this thing off. It's not easy.
One's the Pacific and one's the Atlantic.
Yeah, the boys soccer tumbler sounds like the Pacific, and the girls sounds like the Atlantic.
There you go.
So there you go. So really pick them up. We sold a few, and like I said, you bring it up, to the snack bar, and then you show and go, look at this, because look, it's got the schedule.
Yeah.
Right on it. So you always know what game is when, and if they're home or away.
Yeah.
Then you'll have to ask if there's a debate tomorrow night. All right. Daryl says, all right, I'm going to buy one. All right.
Good.
I'll be waiting for your order, Daryl.
It'll be on the third Tuesday of next week.
Oh, yeah. By the way, if you do order one, make sure you click the local pickup option.
Just a matter of walking across the street.
Well, no, because it'll charge you $5 shipping.
I know, but he could walk over and pick it up.
You could. Well, yeah. Well, that's actually
You could
anybody
send it over by a pigeon.
all the ones that that have been ordered, locally, they go to our reception area downstairs.
Yeah.
Where Megan will, you just go to the window, and then between 9 and 5, Monday through Friday, and you can pick it up through Megan. Daryl, you buy 2, I will bring them over, 1 in each hand.
Yep.
No, I'll bring it over just because I'm going to talk to you.
Hmm.
Just so we can chat. All right, so let's get back into the debate from last night. Lots of I got a lot of feedback last night off here.
You did?
Oh yeah. Yep. Got a lot of comments via text message, couple calls, of what I thought, and it's hard, for me to sit here and say, well, this is what I think, or this is what I think.
Yeah, you gotta be neutral.
Yeah. So, and like, if you didn't see me on camera last night, but
No.
I was very straight faced. I didn't show any emotion.
Yep.
I looked off, whatever, I wasn't going to, because I didn't want to seem like I was, showing any kind of favoritism to either one of the candidates, because one of the things that we pride ourselves here is that we are straight down the middle.
Can't vote anyway.
Huh?
Can't vote anyway.
Yes, I can. I'm
You
a registered
Oh,
Republican.
you're a registered Republican.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know. I can't vote.
Huh?
I cannot vote.
No, you cannot.
So it doesn't make any difference to me one way or the other. I can't vote at
No.
all.
It was, I think Brad made a comment. I think I skipped right over it.
Yeah.
Crap. I'll go back to it. Sometimes they come in rapid fire and then I don't see them. Okay, yeah. I think I said this. I don't know. Brad said watching it showed that he was uncomfortable.
Yeah, he
was not bad though. Not that he was bad.
No, he wasn't bad.
That's what he said. This is what Brad says here, but he has time. I thought, if I was just to say, I thought it was a no nonsense, no bullshit approach that Wayne used last night. He's obviously not a politician.
He's not a politician.
No.
No.
And I think that's a fact. I don't think that's an assumption.
No, I just think you're right. No, he's not a politician. No. I mean, even in his position, he probably doesn't spend a lot of time in front of people saying a bunch of stuff. He's concentrated.
Right.
He's supervising people that are working.
Exactly.
So,
So, any more comments? What do you think about what happened during the debate last night? We had quite a few people on the stream last night watching. Yeah, I'd love to know what you thought. Don't sit in the background here today, folks. Let us know.
Yeah.
Type something in the room to see what you think. I thought it was interesting. It was definitely something that it was definitely something that needed to be done.
No, it was good. I don't know whether you want to talk about. I was disappointed in.
I know where you're gonna go.
I was
Yeah,
very
I was
disappointed.
saving that. I know exactly what you're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Kathy says, I think not being a politician works in his favor. People are tired of the political BS.
Well, I think a lot of people, not only locally, but I think a lot of people are sick of politicians, not only in local politics, but state politics and federal politics. They've had it. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. That's fair. All right. I know where you're going to go with that statement, Paul.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I think the debate, as far as them treating one another throughout the entire debate, was very cordial. It was very, there was no riffraff between the two of them. But I think the last 10 or 15 seconds, there was a comment made by Dana that I thought was uncalled for. I don't think it was necessary, where just because you have somebody else on the board had nothing to do with what the debate was about. If you take a look at, I mean, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, because if you look at her position, and I'm going to bring this back, what she said about the data centers, right? What she said was, I don't like them because there was going to be noise, right? That was a
Correct.
comment that she made.
I don't remember her saying I don't like
She
them,
did. She did. She wasn't for it because of the noise. Okay. And we all know that the only noise you're going to get out is a generator running maybe a half an hour a day. But that's what she said. I was at that planning and zoning meeting when they brought it in, and the discussion was going
as
on,
was I.
and the noise thing came up. Who do you think brought it up? Her husband.
Okay.
So don't say that just because it's an ethics issue. Because
You're talking about Dave Bennett.
yeah,
okay.
Right. You can't say that one group has an ethic issue and you don't have an ethics issue, because on all committees today, there's relatives, because it's a very small town. You're going to have, husband and wives on two different committees. Some are going to be in different positions. And if you're smart enough, you'll excuse yourself from decisions that perhaps don't belong. And that's how you have to handle it. But it's such a small town, and nobody wants to volunteer. These are the kinds of things you're going to run into.
So one of the things that I know that you did, because you were all in. On this data center thing, and to find things out.
Right.
So when the issue of the sound came up, or the possible noise or noise pollution, you jumped all over it.
I did,
and you did a lot of research. And what is it that you found?
Found out that a lot of the data centers out west, there was no issue with noise whatsoever, none. But it wasn't only Dana's, and her husband had complained about it. There was another person who's running on the ticket time that also complained about it. So that's the problem with, everybody you talk about economic development, but what happens when we have, I don't want that in my backyard. I don't want this here. How many times have we said that happens? They'll find some excuse that, to go against it.
Right.
How many times does that happen?
A lot.
So, bitch about economic development, but if you're going to complain about what a landowner does with his property, I mean, come on.
No one's complained about the helipad yet.
Yeah.
Or the new Jewett City Medical Center.
Oh, yeah. I still thought the chicken farm was the right way to go, though.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun time. All right. Let's take a look here. More comments.
Oh, good. We need to know what the comments are.
Jennifer. A couple of things that irked me about the comments made by the first selectman. She referred to as the audit from the Board of Education, something negative for the BOE. But that is her responsibility, and the responsibility of the finance department to deflect and make it look like a BOE problem and not an administration problem was misleading. That was as close to a lie as you can get. I was very uncomfortable with that. And that is Jennifer Gauthier. Victoria says it was obvious that one person was more experienced at public speaking, which I think we
knew that
pretty much figured that out. But I think that the incumbent has some issues in remembering things as they happen.
Yeah.
So that is Victoria.
There were things. I mean, there were a lot of things said that were in the past, long before the person got there.
Here's an interesting one from Sarah. Pretty much online in one of your comments.
Yeah.
Well, that last comment got my husband so hot, he is going to change from unaffiliated so he can vote. It was a very underhanded slam dunk that missed by a mile.
Yeah. I think it's just, I mean, you can think it, but don't bring it up during the debate, because I think that the Yeah, what's his name? Martin? Yeah.
Martin McKinney?
No, what's
Return.
Wayne? Sorry.
Wayne Malin.
Wayne. He was.
You're not voting. Don't worry.
Yeah, he was straight down the arrow. He did not try to put anything negative on her whatsoever. I don't think he made any comments that we didn't know was, you know, I know he got a little in with the borough a little bit, but he didn't mention anything about what had happened. He just said we need to communicate better, but he never said anything derogatory against her whatsoever. None.
The main message that I have received from other people here, not here, just really since last night, and it's been a lot, has been basically the shot heard around the world.
Yeah, I mean,
that
that
last
was
4 seconds. And a lot of people didn't like that.
No, I think a lot of people didn't, because I think it was straightforward up to that point. That should have. It was right. It was the last.
That could be a tipping point.
That could be a tipping
there.
point. That could be a tipping point.
Nothing against anybody and
No.
nothing like that, but
No.
you know, but these are the things that I'm hearing, and I think it's obvious because this is one of the major things that people are commenting on.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people like that at all.
Kathy says the first selectman's husband is on P&Z and he was not in support of them, meaning the data centers. All of a sudden, data centers are gone with no information given to the public. Is that a conflict of interest? We don't know.
Yeah, he basically, his problem was he thought the noise level was the blocker. He wanted to have an investigation if they came in.
I remember you coming in one morning and said, "Hey, look, this is what I found out." I think it was Indiana or Iowa or one of those. Started with an I. Maybe it was Idaho. I don't know. But you had talked about, you talked to the
I actually talked to him on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked to the administration in that town where, and they said, no, nobody said none.
Nothing. No, I really feel bad that they're not coming, because we lost out big time.
Jennifer says the fact of the matter is that because the town didn't file the registered or the required audit, we are now subject to a $10,000 fine and subject to oversight by the Municipal Finance Board. There is no way to sugarcoat it. The Board of Education doesn't file the audit. The town does. This is an administration failure and not any failure of the part of the Board of Education.
See, I heard that at a meeting and I wasn't sure what had happened. It was something to do with tracking. Was it tracking time? Something, I'm not sure what it was all about. It was very confusing to me to try to understand, listening to some of the stuff that was said on the meeting. I couldn't understand what it was.
You could always hit rewind.
Huh?
Could always hit rewind.
I know, but
listen. So you could know what was.
It's confusing to me, and I don't think a lot of people really knew about it.
So getting back into I went to, I don't know if you remember the comment that I made at the meeting with Heritage Village and also the people from the data centers that Got Data was the name of the company. It's not Got Data anymore, but one of the things that they were talking about, the data centers, saying that they're going to put up their own water tower. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're not going to wait.
Yeah.
And I jumped, one of my comments right where the Heritage Village were. So basically, you're not waiting for Griswold to do the infrastructure. You're waiting for the data centers to put in the infrastructure. Therefore, it's not going to cost you anything. And he was like, yeah. And then it didn't happen. And guess what? Heritage Village isn't here either. Now, you can tell me, and I already know. Right now with Heritage Village, the only thing is that there's a possibility of a grant, which we don't know about, which we don't know if we're going to get it or not. Right. If we don't get it, it's over. It's over. It's been in the works for what, 6 to 8 years now?
Well, they own the property.
They own the property.
I know
that's okay. What are they going to do with it?
They just revamped. They just revamped it to change some of the design around.
It's changed like 3 times.
It's changing again. And for people who don't know, that there is a meeting that you can. It's a Zoom meeting that you can just send her a note and she'll send you a Zoom
A
ID.
link. Yeah.
And Heritage Village is probably going to be in that. You can watch the Zoom meeting and find out exactly what's going on. It's on August 31st.
That's
I
tomorrow.
think it's yeah,
That's tomorrow. She said Thursday.
yeah, 7 p.m.
She was very forthcoming and saying when it was.
That was the first I heard of it.
It was the first I'd heard of it.
I'd
either,
never
but
heard of it before. So, why being on EDC, why we would not know about it?
I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
I knew that they were
I can't answer that.
I knew they were recently in planning and zoning with their changes of what they're doing. I did not know there was this meeting going on. So anybody can ask for a request for an ID and listen to the meeting.
My whole thing is that we can sit here. Oh, it's COVID's fault. But if we would have pushed through, we'd have these data centers. They'd be building. We'd have the infrastructure. It'd be over.
Well, I think the infrastructure still had some issues because there's been a lot of delays because it was COVID and then it was the USDA grants that they started together, then they had to split them out. It was a whole bunch of crap they had to go through before they even got the damn grants going.
Right, but this
and the price of everything went up.
But the Heritage Village grant right now, we don't even know if we're going to get it. No. If we don't get it, it's done, Paul. It's got to be done.
Well, they'll just. I thought that the grant that it's a separate grant. It's not our grant. I think we have a Griffin grant. Mm-hmm. They'll be able to apply for it again, I think, in late fall. Yeah.
Well, this is.
I think our grant was, I think, for the water tower.
That's no. There was a 20 million or 18 to 20 million.
Yeah, it was originally, but they changed it because they didn't think the state would give them that kind of money.
Okay.
So I believe they changed it so that we would get the money for the water tower, which has gone up considerably since day one. Yeah. So that was the whole thing. But right, I mean, that was the idea to have at least have the. You're right. Have the data centers at least bring the water and sewer across under the bridge and to the first spot there. That was the thought. But
Kathy says if Heritage River doesn't happen, I say we put in IKEA, Costco or something similar.
I don't know.
I think they have to want to come here.
They got to look. They got to look to see. They're pretty much. It's only like one in the state or one down this way. Anyway, it's not too many of them. They're very limited. So I don't know. But they own the property. I think their grant is to get with the YMCA coming. I think the YMCA is going to be part of them. So I think it's. I have a feeling they're going to go. They're not going to run away because if they were going to run away, why would we run the infrastructure all the way down there? It'd be a waste of money.
Yes.
So I think it's going to go. I've been saying that for years.
So you think it's going to happen?
I think it'll happen. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out with the meeting. See what they have to say.
We will have to wait and see.
Yeah. If anybody wants to attend, just get an idea and listen in.
I'm looking to take a look at something.
I think a lot of people are wondering what the hell is going on with that. So, any more comments?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of moved into something in Plainfield, because I'm trying to. I want to know what's going in at the old exit 88.
Where?
The old exit 88.
Oh, I don't think there's anything going there.
Oh, no. They're supposed to. It's a 1.2 million square foot facility.
Oh, wait a minute. You sure it's exit 88?
The old exit 88 in Plainfield.
That was going to be a warehousing.
Right. But supposedly it was going to be announced. And I'm looking, and I'm just kind of perusing.
Oh.
The the P&Z minutes in
Oh,
Plainfield.
yeah. As far as I knew, that's was going to be warehousing. I thought that
Yeah, but what? I heard it was
I don't know.
something
I don't think it was
substantial.
ever mentioned what type of warehousing it would be, but it was. I thought it was going to be warehousing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's today? The 30th?
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking of exit. I was thinking of the exit 80, old 87, I guess it was.
Well, that's a dog
Yeah,
track.
that's the one that the truck stop was interested in. It's too small a property, so that didn't happen.
All right, let's go back. Where am I?
No.
Facebook user, that would be Lori Sorter. Good morning, Lori. My Heritage Village grant question. The town is applying for the grant for Heritage Village. If Heritage Village should default and or fail, who is responsible for the fulfillment or payback of grant money? Do you pay back grant money?
I don't know.
Unless there's a stipulation.
Well, see, I didn't think
then it's not grant money, it's a loan.
Yeah, but I didn't think we originally were going for a grant money for them. If you remember, the original $18 million one was a grant that we were doing for them so they could put their
Yes, of course.
infrastructure in.
Yeah.
That I believe that changed because they didn't think they could get the 18 million.
They didn't.
No,
They didn't get it, but
well,
then
I
they
think
reapplied for something else. So
Yeah, and I think the one that they went for is us for the water tower. That's the one. So and they're putting their own grant in, I believe.
who Heritage Village?
Yeah, with YMCA or something. I don't know. Whatever. But I don't think that's connected anymore. They just thought, because originally it was way up there as far as dollars go, and they didn't think that the state would ever give them that kind of money.
Lori said, thank you. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
All right. Cortland said, Kevin Cunningham said it would be announced at P&Z. That was in September. In September, the old exit 88, so hasn't happened yet.
Oh, we go.
Kathy, let's see, says there was supposed to be an info Zoom meeting last week, but haven't heard if it happened or will happen. Again, no communication or lack of follow through. So we do coming forward. We do have a couple of more debates.
Yeah,
that'll be happening within with us here. We're going to be. Well, I can't really say, because I haven't heard from all of the candidates yet to see if they're willing. So, but we are. I will put it out there that I would like to do a Plainfield first selectman debate, and I'd also like to do the first selectman debate here in Griswold's.
Yeah, I would think that they would be willing to do that.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
There have been times where I've had candidates say no, thank you.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, right. I mean, I'm probably not going to have a debate between the town treasurer position.
Oh, of course not.
Why
would you do that?
I don't know.
Just like you wouldn't have it with the second selectman running on both of them.
Imagine Joyce Rice and Linda Cody with gloves on.
No, I don't think
looking at each other.
I don't think that
it's time.
Yeah, because it's really the first selectman that you're really interested in, not the other. Yeah.
Okay.
Now people need to know what the other candidates are. That's for sure. But
there was a debate last night.
Yeah, I mean, I let's face it. I mean, people got to get out and vote, and you got to vote for a person you think is right, not because of the party they belong to. I've always said that. So first we got to get through this hurdle to find out who the candidate is. Then we get to the next one. So we'll see.
Right, because we don't know.
We don't know. Don't know right now.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
If Wayne Malin wins the primary, does Dana find a way to get on the ballot?
I don't know if she can.
I heard there is a way. I don't know exactly the steps, but I heard that she can petition. I don't know if it's a secretary.
But then she'd be
Jen Goffier would probably know this.
She'd probably be a write-in, right? She'd be.
No, she'd be on the ballot all the way down the bottom.
Is it too late?
No, I think it depends on what happens with the primary.
Oh, then maybe she could go on as a independent or
I don't know.
unaffiliated. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I'm not a
I don't
big
know.
I'm not a big political.
I heard she could. I
Well,
heard
then
there
she
is a way, but I don't know.
Well, you know, if you think about some of the presidential candidates, I mean, look at some of the people who've been on those.
Jennifer says yes, she can. She can file a petition to add herself as an unendorsed candidate.
Oh, there you go.
At that point, don't you just let it go?
Well, you know, that would be well, that all depends. If that happens, now you're going to have a split between some Republicans. You're going to have some Republicans that are still going to vote for her,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to have Republicans voting for Wayne. So you're going to split. The vote would split.
Jen says it's called a nominating petition.
Oh, okay. So that would be interesting to see. I mean, that's a decision. Whoever, I don't think Wayne would consider being a nominee.
We don't know. We don't know what Wayne would do. We don't know what Dana would do, or anything like that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. We'll find out after the.
We will find out after the 12th. Yeah. I'm just curious if something happens, and I mentioned Dana because I don't know Wayne well enough to say whether or not he will do anything or not do anything.
I don't
know. Dana, to me, seems like the type that if she lost the primary, she would look for another way to get on the ballot.
Then maybe we'll see that. Yeah.
So
that's a possibility. So then we'd have 3 candidates.
And but Kathy made a really good point, and this is true. She goes, doing that would almost guarantee a win for the Democratic candidate.
That's very possible because now you got a split, which would mean to be lower votes for both candidates. You're right.
I think you have a split either way.
Huh?
I think you have a split either way. I mean,
well, the other thing too, here's the thing. If you think about first and second, and she could be a second selectman, she could be a third selectman if she got herself on a ballot, because it all depends on the number of votes, right?
Right. But what I was saying is I think there's a split anyway. Yeah. So what Kathy just said is there's that type, there's a split there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. But I think there's a split. Or let's look at the RTC, right? The nominating committee.
Well,
what happened?
Yeah.
It was pretty split, right?
Yeah.
Half, pretty much Dana, half pretty much Wayne.
Right.
A couple more for Wayne. That's why he got the endorsement.
Correct.
So, but it was pretty well split. So I think if it's statistically, you go right down the line and petition everybody, I think you're going to be kind of like there's going to be, some for Dana and some for Wayne. So what happens if, let's say, Dana wins the primary, right?
Yeah.
What happens there? Then, and this is just my opinion, I feel a lot of people, a lot of Republicans that would have supported Wayne is now going to vote on the Democratic side because they don't want the incumbent.
Right.
So I think at best, statistically, it's very much an uphill battle for the first selectman to continue onto a second term.
You're right.
I'm just saying statistically.
You're right. It could be an upward battle.
It's going to be very difficult, I think.
Here's another question for you.
It's not impossible.
I know it's not impossible, but here's another thing. If you have this, suppose she does lose the primary and goes on as a nominated third candidate as first selectman, what happens now? Now, each one of the 2 candidates has a first selectman and a second late running mate, right? What happens now if the first selectman gets one, say, let's just guess the Democrat, and then Dana gets the second amount of votes? So now you have the two first that were originally, and who's going to, depending on if.
But we have that now.
Huh?
We have that now. We have that now with Todd Babbitt
But
and
we've
Danny
never
Bennett.
had a write-in candidate, a nominated candidate, get on the ballot and become a second selectman.
You know what else we've never had, or I
We never
don't
had
want
a
to say
primary.
never. Well, yeah, but one thing I don't want to say never, but I'm gonna say if it hasn't happened in a long, long time, is we had someone that's on the board that's unaffiliated, a Republican,
Yeah.
and a Democrat.
Yeah.
Where's your party line then? Right.
Yeah.
So now when you get the Board of Finance, if they got to go ahead and vote on another member, you better figure it out.
Yeah.
Because if it goes to the board, you got three different representations there. It's not going to fly through. Or any other board. I'm just saying that because the Board of Finance, the Board of Finance is a member anyway.
So the question is that if for some reason Dana loses and is a nominee, she's not a Republican, right?
No, she is. I don't know how that works. I mean, she's still a Republican, but she's not. But she's not repping the Republican
She can't be a Republican
Party.
candidate,
Right?
So now you got unaffiliated.
Mm-hmm.
If she wins unaffiliated,
yeah,
and then somebody, either a Democrat or a Republican. So now you can have two against one.
It's 2 against 1 now. It's always been 2 against 1.
I know, but I'm just saying, but it's been.
But don't forget, Tina Falk is not affiliated. She's not an independent.
I understand
She's
that.
unaffiliated.
That's what I mean. So you could have unaffiliated, and a Democrat or a Republican.
Who's the other unaffiliated? Oh, okay. So Dana gets on.
That would be interesting.
I've been saying it right along. We're going to have an unaffiliated. We're going to have a Democrat. We're going to have a Republican.
That's if things work out, then we'll
But
see.
one thing that I tried along with Kevin Skolchak 6 years ago, which I think both candidates agree
I think
with
they
right
agree
now,
Yeah.
to go to a 5-member board of selectmen.
Yep.
That got shot down in a referendum before.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Anything else gets shut down.
I have
no
idea.
Because there's a certain group that don't like something, and then bingo, it gets shut down. I mean, hiring a city manager, if you want to call them, that's going to be somebody's salary. Who else going to pay for that? I mean, people are bitching now.
Look, you and I both said about 4 months ago that this was going to be one hell of an election year here in Griswold. And I think it's starting to shape up that way.
I think so.
Because there's a ton of different ways that this can go. Let's see. And Larry says, you got to remember, if you had 2 more selectmen, that's another 30 grand out of your budget.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
Well, a lot of people, but you're all right with it. But there's a lot of people who are not
Who are
all right, not out with it.
I'm just saying I'm okay. I'm not saying everybody else is.
Well,
I'm saying I'm okay with that.
That's the problem.
I think it's worth having the additional ideas and the additional conversations instead of going, all right, 2 Republicans, 1 Democrat, done. Have a great day.
I think that's
let's get a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
I don't know. With proper economic development, this is what I'm talking about. We could absorb 30K, no problem. Wah, 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 wah. Paul, thanks for coming by. We'll see you again Friday. Tomorrow, do we have a Waslick? I don't even know. I'm so out of control right now. It's ridiculous. Come on. Do we have a Waslick tomorrow, Kathy? By the way, buy a tumbler. Buy one of these things. They're cool. And you could wave it around. And they're stainless steel. You could hit somebody in the head with it. Yeah. It's a weapon at that point. And you can hear the ocean. Not gonna lie. Do we have a Waslick tomorrow? Well, we don't know. Anyway, I'll be here one way or another. So have a good day, everyone. Thank you, everyone that participated in. All right, Kathy says one of us will be there.
There you go.
That's why I said Mike and a Waslick. You just never know. So anyway, thanks very much, everybody, for participating last night, and watching the debate and having as many comments as you did today. That is one of the reasons why, that is the reason why we even do this right here in the mornings, just because we want people, and it's always been a dream, like to have people engaged in what it is that we're doing here. Right. Not us, but in the town, getting people engaged in the town, whether you like it or lump it or whatever, pay attention. Yeah. Get your face out of Gristle now and pay attention to what's going on downtown. Because you may watch this, that, and the other thing, and then all of a sudden, a month later, all of a sudden, boom, you get an idea and go, you know what, maybe this is a good idea. And it's not going to happen if you don't participate like you are. And we thank you for that. So, all right, we will see you once again tomorrow right here on SNSN. Have a good day, everybody.